Defense transition, our counter pressure was fabulous. And the last 20 minutes, we show we can battle, we can fight. It's a big team spirit. They stand for each other, and we are happy with that.
I think we show character, and I was really pleased with the personality that we showed. And we will take a lot of positiveness from the game today.
We lost 2 points to them before in the dying seconds, and I think we were doing everything today to make sure that didn't happen. And there was a lot of good blocks and clearances from the lads in the middle. So. Really pleased with the 3 points.
The second goal, you're going to give anyone a chance in the box. You don't want to give it to Rashford at the minute. He's on fire. Again, it's one of those things. We've got to learn from these little mistakes. Stop making it so hard for ourselves to try and get back into a game, and we'll learn from that.
What was your view of the red card? Do you have any complaints at all?
He takes a risk. We have all seen that. He can't get away with that. For me, it's the inconsistency. When I see in Palace 2 weeks ago was an elbow, and the VAR is not interfering. And in this situation, he could have sent off more players. Then be consistent, and everyone who's crossing the line has to send off them, and not only one player.
Well, that would have been interesting. We'd have been down to about 4 aside at that point. But it was interesting because it was a relatively kind of mundane Manchester United home win until that melee, and that changed it a little bit.
Well, it definitely changed it.
I mean, what do you think to the red card?
I thought it was a harsh red card because there's a melee in the corner. You can see everyone coming together. There's pushing and shoving and grabbing and everything else, and then. The referee is actually sent to the screen.
He does grab him by the neck, Alan. I mean,
but watch the referee when he actually goes to the screen. The angle that he showed a still. He showed it in slow motion, in that position, that angle. But there's another angle that it doesn't look anywhere near as bad, and this angle on here. You can see it there closely. He's got hold of him. Yes.
By the shirt rather
than round the net. There's a lot more going on, i.e. Eo and Fred and what have you. You can see there's slaps and pushes and shoving and grabbing and everything else.
You'd have loved that, wouldn't you, Ian?
Yeah, I would have loved that. I would have sought out somebody I don't really get on with. But the fact is that, I'm just looking at...
Thank heavens we're 5 yards apart.
It's just handbags. Just get on with it. Very harsh. Very harsh.
I think so, yeah.
That's 13 wins on the bounce for Manchester United at home.
Yeah.
I mean, Ten Hag's
he's doing a fantastic
job.
Changed their mentality, and he's got them playing some good stuff. And it was just about winning today. They were hanging on in the end, but they did it well.
That defender, man.
Yeah.
Martinez at the back. He's something.
He's gritty.
Yes.
Gritty.
Yes.
We saw a bit of that in Qatar.
That felt like a real team effort and a crowd effort today to get us over the line.
Yeah, it was. It was tough, especially, of course, after the red card. I think we controlled the game very well. The first half we scored an early goal, and then similar, the second half we started really well. We scored the second, and after the red card, of course, it was really, really tough. We fight until the end. I think the team did really well. We defend really well because they put players in front, good players, and we defend really, really well. We conceded 1 goal, but I think we won massive 3 points today.
Was that, you said fight, was that the crucial thing today, the fight in the last 20 minutes or so?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's not easy when you lost a big player like Casemiro, and then they start to attack, they score 1 goal, and still 15-20 minutes to go. So I think we show a massive spirit today, great character, the whole team, the players from the bench, they've been amazing. So that means I think we are doing really good things as a team, and everyone is ready to play.
When they made it 2-1, in fairness, there was still 20 minutes or so to go, but in fact, they didn't really create clear chances. Does that show how good the defending was from the crosses and the set pieces?
Yeah, I think we defend really well. I think the manager did good changes. I think we feel solid at the back. But I think we fight a lot. We fight a lot as a team, and so it's been. Sometimes you have to win games like this, like today, and that shows that we are a good team, I think.
And you mentioned Casemiro, obviously going to miss him, but Sabitzer came on and made a few tackles and enjoyed himself. So I suppose it's all about the squad when you lose an important player.
Of course, we're already missing Christian, Scott, now Casse. So yeah, it's a bit tough because they are big players for us, but. But of course, we have more players. We have a bigger squad. Marcel did really well. The minutes he's been on the pitch. I think he's a great player. So yeah, we have to be together and train well. I think everyone is training well and everyone is ready to play.
On a special day where we saw the Munich commemorations before the kick-off and the big surfer flag going across the Stretford end, it's quite fitting that one of our own players, Marcus Rashford, turned out and got the winning goal today on this day.
Yeah, it's always, of course, emotional those days, but yeah, it's great. A guy from here, from the clubs, he's been here all his life and he scored the winner. It's great, but I think it's a team win today. I think we've been really good, play good, and deserve the 3 points.
Well done. Thank you very much. Yes. Take care.
Well, United's season going from strength to strength because that result put them third in the Premier League table, of course, before Newcastle played West Ham. However, there is a player that I know you wanted to talk about, and that's Marcus Rashford. He's got something back, hasn't he? That swagger.
He has got that swagger back. He's got that presence. And I think now he believes that he's the main man. 19 goals in all comps. Looks like he's going to score in every game. Not just the goals, just the performances, and just how explosive he is. And you know what's really good as well? He's getting into these areas. And I think if this was last season, he probably would have been outside the box. But these one-touch finishes, and he's had a few of them this season. It's not coincidence that players that are getting into the right areas and the ball comes across and you just execute. You see him here, just lingering here, one-touch finish. It makes it look so easy, but he's been brilliant.
Why has he got that spark back? What's been the reason?
We mentioned him going to the World Cup and getting a spark back there as well. Like Jermaine says, being the main player, but I actually think it's because of training. Because I think Manchester United, I've watched them, how they defend now and keep a clean sheet and pride themselves on that, comes from training every single day. So if you're a striker up against that type of defensive line, it improves you. So if they're harder to beat and get past, that stuff and that mentality, that decision-making, getting into areas, being clinical in those moments, then goes into the game. And I think Marcus Rashford has benefited from that, from the team being collectively better.
I think it's the manager as well, because what game was it? Was it Wolves that the manager dropped him? He scored in the previous game, and he was late, and then he didn't play. So the fact that the manager's driving that every day, so I think he knows, the manager's got that sort of character anyway. And I mentioned before, being the main man, psychologically, that's massive. For a number 9, that's massive. And, just his whole round game, he just looks like a completely different player to last season. Yeah,
he looks like he's enjoying himself, doesn't he? Now, it wasn't all smooth sailing because there was a sending off for Casemiro. What did you make of this whole incident, Karen?
Well, look, when we watch it, I don't think there's any question that it is a sending off. You can't grip someone round the neck. Casemiro running in here. I think he's trying to protect Anthony, but gets himself involved and he's got his arms around Will Hughes' neck, and you can't do that. And then says it wasn't me later on. But I think what the disappointing thing is out of everyone, he's your most senior, experienced midfielder, and he lost his head in that moment. And now Manchester United find themselves without Christian Eriksen, who's out injured. Casemiro now will have 3-match ban. And you're thinking they're very, very light now in the centre midfield. So I'm disappointed because he's a senior player and he's been so instrumental for Manchester United, and I'd be Erik ten Hag going. I think that's his first sending off for a Man United player under Erik ten Hag, because he's high on discipline. That's unacceptable for us, and especially from someone so experienced as Casemiro.
2 games against Leeds and a game against Leicester is what Casemiro will miss. How much will he be missed in those games?
A big miss. The fact that Christian Eriksen's injured as well. He'd be looking at that thinking, I've let the team down. I've let the manager down. You just can't do that. And the strangest thing is when the referee come up to him and he was like, me. You just can't do that. And, he's been so good for the team for what he's done since he's been there. But to do that and let the team down, when you're needed, you're one of the most important players, especially in that position.